Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Maluch. Now, there's only one version of this vehicle available, and it looks like it's going to be white. But when you spawn it up, it's actually gold, and no matter what you do, you will be stuck with a gold car. So to demonstrate that real quickly, we go to the color menu and try to make this thing green in every way we possibly can, but as you see, still gold. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you try to drive this is the shift points in automatic mode are a little bit wacky. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to come to a complete stop right here and then just floor it. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, go. You notice it shifts in a second, kind of bogs down, then shifts back into first, and then it goes back into second again. So to compensate for these weird shift points, we're going to be using manual transmission mode throughout most of this video. So that way, all of the bad shifts are entirely my fault. Now, even though this car is rear engine, rear wheel drive, it is not fast. I am lucky to get this thing up to 45 miles per hour through this map, and I don't even think we actually hit that. And that was on a downhill section through a pretty good straightaway. And the handling on this car is kind of interesting because it's such a short wheelbase. It makes it really easy to accidentally lose control of the car, but because you're going so slow anyways, most of the time you can actually recover from that. So let's go ahead and try to crash into this tree right here. There we go. Oh, why you gotta flip over? Well, right there you can see there's the orange of the engine, and you can tell it's rear wheel drive, and I'm gonna try to flip this thing upright. Oh God, stop. Okay, and let go. All right, it landed upright. So you can see the deformation here does have some spots that look kind of wacky with the deformation where it just doesn't look quite right, but it did good enough. So let's just go ahead and reset this thing. And we'll do 1 or 2 more crashes with this thing on its own, and then we'll crash it with some other vehicles. But to do that, we're going to probably head over to grid map because it's kind of hard to drive 2 cars on a map with all of these curves and actually get them to collide into each other. I mean, I could, of course, do a stationary crash, but that's not as fun as having 2 cars that are both moving crash into each other. We're getting this thing up to about 40 miles per hour, almost. It's struggling. Come on, get that 40. Upshift, and we lose a few miles per hour because of the slow shifting. 40, and we'll get some slow-mo here, and we'll crash it right into that container. Nice. That's a very different crash than last time. We kind of actually just deflected off that. And we might be able to continue along with 3 wheels. Let's see. Nah, not really. It's pulling a little bit too hard to the right. I think with the short wheelbase, when you lose 1 wheel, it makes it a lot harder to drive than a longer wheel-based vehicle. And let's see if we can back this thing out at all so we can take a look at the damage on the front. Nope. If we want to take a look at the damage on the front, we got to yank it out of there. So we'll do that real quickly. There we go. Hey. All right, it can roll wherever it wants. You can see it right there. Freeze physics before it rolls in the water. So front got nice and crunched. And that one looks a lot better than the first crash, that's for sure. So now 1 more drive on this map, and then we'll move to a different map where it might be a little bit fun here is to try to off-road this thing, because classic cars that are similar to this one, like the Fiat Abarth, have been rallied. So let's see how this thing fares. I know there's a dirt road right here. I gotta choose, do I want to go left or do I want to go right? Let's go to the right. And I'm probably going to basically be able to stick this thing in the 2nd gear, and that's it, because I don't think we're going to go fast enough where we need 3rd gear or slow enough where we need 1st gear. So I could be really lazy with the shifting and just drive it along. So far, it's doing pretty good. Very similar to what I saw on the pavement, where you can slide around pretty easily, but again, we're going so slow, we can control those really easily. And I'm noticing the suspension here is having to work overtime. Like, we're bouncing a ton, but I don't really feel it in the driving either. Like, looking at this, you would think I have no control, but we're good. We are totally fine. But it's not fast. It is really slow through here. I'm sure the bouncing slows it down a lot. Like right here, I'm like, come on, let's get to 30 miles per hour. There we go. Can we get up to 40? Nah, we got a corner right here. All right, we're going to try to hit 40 before we hit that tree directly ahead of us. Come on. There's a 40. Get some slow-mo going. Get a nice looking crash when you can see it in slow-mo, hopefully this time. And that looks pretty good. And ha! We got scissor doors activating right there. Y'all didn't know this thing secretly had scissor doors as standard equipment, but boom, you just saw it right there. So as for the deformation, it looks okay. I mean, there's really nothing in the front right there to really stop it from just crunching in, because as I said, the engine is in the back right there. And we can actually still drive this thing. Well, we could put power down. We can't steer it all, but we can go forward and backwards without much issue. So now let's go ahead and go to a different map so we can do some crashes with other vehicles. And for that, we're just going to go to the classic, which is grid map. So the first thing I want to do isn't exactly a crash test, but it's close enough. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the biggest D series we got, which is the D35 V8 4-wheel drive extended cab. And then we're going to try to shove the little itty bitty Maluch into the back of this thing and see if it fits or not. So we're going to go and spawn it up. Then we're going to hit Shift C to move the camera around, then place it right about here, and then hit F7 to put it into the bed of the truck. And it fits close enough. We do have the rear hanging off the edge, but as long as it stays in the bed of the truck, I'm okay. We'll accelerate a little bit slowly right here to make sure it doesn't shift around too much, and now we floor it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drive all the way to that wall at the end of the map, and we're going to slam into it and see what happens with the Maluch in the rear of the truck. Looks like we're only going to be going about 60 miles per hour or so because all the extra weight is slowing down the D series a bit. Yeah, like right there, it just stopped accelerating. It's like, okay, I've pretty much peaked in my speed. Getting a little bit faster up to 62, but not changing much. So we'll do, let's go even 100 times slow-mo on this because there's a lot that's going to be going on here. So first, the truck, which isn't anything too special. You've seen this 100 times. But now, what's going to happen with the car in the rear? It is crashing into the rear of the truck. It's ruining the rear of the truck and the car at the same time. Scissor doors are activating. I'll speed it up to 8 times slow-mo. And it's going up into the air. And let it level out. Actually, the car in the back held up pretty well. I thought it'd be a lot more destroyed than that. It did a really good job of destroying the truck, though. Because that whole back side of the cab is unidentifiable. It's just a mess. So go ahead and reset both of these. And I haven't shown you the inside of this car because it's pretty much blank. You look in here and it's like, yeah, there's not much in there. And there's actually no interior camera if you go through the cameras. So that's just kind of the way of saying, look, the interior is not there yet. So just drive it from the outside. There are chairs in there at least, so it makes it look like there's stuff from a camera like this. But then you actually get in there, you're like, wait, there's no steering wheel, there's no dash, there's no pedals, there's all kinds of things missing. But from the outside, you really don't notice that kind of detail too much. So if it fits in the bed of the truck, that gets me my next question. Does it fit inside the cab of an H series? So we'll get an H25 Vanster because we need one that's a little bit more heavy duty to be able to carry a vehicle in its rear. And we're going to do the same thing we did last time where we become the vehicle and just teleport it inside the van. That actually looks pretty good. In the front, it is going through the seats just a tiny bit, but side to side, it's got clearance even with the mirrors, it looks like. Vertically, it's in there. It's not sticking out through the bottom or the top. I have a little bit of room in the back, so I could back it up if I wanted to, but it's probably better off where it's at so that way it could slide backwards a little bit without falling out. So let's try things similar to what we did last time. First, we're going to try to do the loop-de-loop with the car inside of me. I don't see this going well. I'm pretty sure we're going to fall off, but hopefully we fall onto the roof of the van. So just trying to do it. There we go. Right. Landing, hopefully in a way that's interesting. Got only 16 times slow-mo here. That should be enough. So not exactly on the roof, but still, that's an interesting looking crash right there. We got the doors popping off, so it's a little bit easier to see the inside. And let's try to peek in there a little bit. Looking at the car. It got beat up from being inside of another car. But I really can't see much, so I'll move the van out the way, and then now we can actually see the car. Youch. That looks bad. All right, put it back inside. And then we go back to the van, and we're going to make it a little bit faster so we can actually do that loop. So let's see. What engine do we have right now? We have the stock intake on the V8. We'll put the Stage 3 supercharger on it. And then we'll also put the 4-wheel drive transfer case on it. And that should make it much faster. Get the correct camera on this thing. I don't know how it got to the chase camera. I like the orbit camera. Although for this, we're actually going to want the interior camera so we can see what we're doing right here. And come on, get that loop. Yeah. And stop. Don't crash. I hear all kinds of bad things going on behind me. But the car stayed in there somehow. Alright, my tires are popped though, so I can't really get any traction. So I'm going to reset both of these. And this time we're going to go ahead and try to crash into the wall again. But this time we're going to be going much faster than we were with the pickup truck because this thing is lighter weight and it has more power. I'm expecting at least 80 miles per hour here, if not more. And well, we just hit 80. This thing is still accelerating. Gonna get it at about 90 miles per hour with the car-in-car collision. And this one, I'm gonna go again 100 times slow-mo because of the speed and the chaos that's gonna be happening with a car inside of a car. So 3, 2, 1, impact. And I'm just going to try to look at the little Maluch. Okay, then. That is not the outcome I expected. Not even close. So, we've got to reset both of these vehicles as a hard reset. And then hopefully we'll be able to drive. Oh, goodness. Not even a hard reset fixed it. Try one more hard reset, and if it doesn't fix it, I'm just going to restart the game. I completely ruined it, so I'll have to be right back, I guess. All right, we're back in it, and we're going to use some different cars. This time we're going to do something that's actually going to be a fair collision. We're going to do the Maluch versus a Pigeon. These are both super small and super lightweight cars, so I actually don't know exactly what the outcome will be here. We're going to make the Pigeon go forward, and we'll make the Maluch go reverse, and then we'll let the AI do all the driving after that because I am that lazy. All right, Pigeon, you're good. Come on, upright. Nope, got to do a little bit of a reset. Spin it around, and right there looks good. Save that spot, and we'll go to the Maluch, say, hey, you're good. Go ahead and stop driving. Oh, it looked like I wanted to tip over for a second, didn't it? So we'll line it up right about there. Save that spot. You're going to go ahead and hit escape, go to the app menu, get the AI control, and then we're going to just put them both to chase. Chase and chase. And now I have to do nothing but watch. I love when the crashes are easy like this. Looks like the speeds are going to be pretty similar even. This is going to be fun. Ooh, they're going to hit off-centered. Nope, there they go. They're straightening out. 16 times slow-mo. That looks pretty equal, actually. Go ahead and put them both to stop chasing, so you don't have to hear the engines revving up once I go to full speed. And just kind of looking at the interior and how badly it deformed. Both of the doors have shifted some, but the actual compartment where the driver would be isn't too badly crushed on either one. That is like a really fair and close collision. That's awesome. So now that we've done a fair and close one, let's do the exact opposite. We're going to get a T-Series out here with the cement mixer for the extra weight, and we're going to slam into it. Can't remember if the cement mixer has the biggest engine on it. We're going to make sure of that. So we go to engine. It's got the T400 turbocharger. That's as big as they get. So then we go put it to chase. Put them to chase. And we're going to watch this one-sided collision from the point of the T-Series, because I want to see if the T-Series loses any speed at all in this crash. It's going to maybe lose like 5 miles per hour. That's it, I would guess. So here we go. Got 16 times slow-mo on this one. T-Series was going 37. Ooh, it's actually dropping all the way to 20. That car actually slowed it down some. Mostly because it got stuck under its tires. And the car, it became just this little crushed speck, didn't it? So go ahead and disable the AI for a second. And wow. Yeah, there is no chance of survival in a crash like that. That is bad. And apparently, the T-Series is still revving its engine? No, this car is revving its engine, but it sounds like it's really far away. That's weird. But we reset it, then it's full loudness. Okay. So here's a dumber idea. We just saw it crash into one T-Series, right? But what if, bear with me here, what if we had 2 T-Series to crash it into? That would be interesting. So we'll give this one a different color. Not green, that looks hideous. Blue looks okay. We're going to put it all the way back here, so it's going to crash afterwards, hopefully. So we say chase, reset them, and then this one is also to chase. And at the end of this, there'll be like no car left. Hopefully all this is going according to plan. Alright, they're going a little bit slower than I would have liked, but that'll work. So collision 1, you've seen that one before, nothing special there. And then here comes in truck number 2. Where is he? He's a little bit away still. I want to make sure I was ready. He didn't just sneak up on me. Alright, there he is. 16 times slow-mo. Get a nice angle here. And smush! Ha! The T-Series has actually basically hit each other. It's gotten so flat. Alright. Full speed this. Disable the AIs. And let's try to get these trucks off of this so I can see what's left of that car. I'm surprised it didn't glitch out. It got so smushed. So that's a T-Series, reset that. That's a T-Series, reset that. And if I told you that was a car, you wouldn't believe me because that thing is just... Like, if I put that in the crusher, it would probably look about the same. The large crusher would probably look pretty similar. So let's try that real quickly. You just place it there with a fresh car. Go to the crusher and then down to up to close it. I was thinking down because the roof goes down, but it's actually up to close it. Actually, this might actually look more intact because it's not getting crushed that much because it's such a small car. Yeah, that still looks like a car. The other one didn't. That's actually adorable. It's like a miniaturized version. Will it drive at all? Overshot that. There we go. Can't steer, but it does accelerate. I love the dedication on this car. It'll be so beat up, but it's like, I can still do it. Believe in me, WhyBeAre. Unfortunately, believing can only get you so far. And we'll finish this up with one actual more reasonable collision here because we've been doing these crazy crashes. Let's do it into a normal car. So we'll get this T-Series and we'll just swap it for a Burnside Special, which is a very regular car. We'll get the lead sled, which isn't that fast because it's so old. And then one more chase. Oh, well, it's in a bad position though. Go ahead and put it into a better position over here so they can both get up to speed. So chase and hope they're going for the right car. It looks like they are. And we'll hope it's the same for the lead sled. It's going for RLV 1597. Looks like it's going in the right direction. Up, there goes a hubcap. So here's a very reasonable collision between two vehicles. About highway speeds. So it looks like the lead sled, interior-wise, is undamaged. As for this guy, his interior has just been bashed in hard. And this car, since it's so small and different, I think it might be interesting enough to see it at Leap of Death and Brutal Slope. So let's go ahead and make our way over to Leap of Death first. I'm kind of curious how fast this thing will be able to go down the hill. So let's go ahead and replace the truck with it. And then we're going to make sure we have it in manual mode, which is realistic. We rev it up, shift into first, get in a second, and then I don't think we're going to shift again. Like, we're going to be right at the rev limiter, but I'm pretty sure shifting again would have just slowed us down. So on this first one, we're going to do it at full speed, and if it looks interesting enough, we'll do another run in slow-mo. It seems like it's almost falling slower because of how small and light it is, but I don't think that's actually the case. I think it's just an illusion because of how small it is. Although it really doesn't have that much speed as it went bouncing through there. That's interesting. Although it did get mangled to bits from just that first little part right there, and well, we still got half a cliff to go. I think what we'll do is we'll do slow-mo on the first crash, and then that'll be it. We may or may not watch it fall down the cliff again. Depends if it looks like it's going to be interesting. We can still rev up the engine, but it's completely silent. It must be an electric vehicle, because electric vehicles are basically silent. They make a little bit of noise, but not that much. They make so little noise that you gotta attach noise to it so the blind people don't get ran over by them. Or just actually oblivious people in general don't get ran over by them. I'm pretty sure this thing is so beat up, if it touches the water, it might just glitch out. Let's see what happens. Oh, it actually worked. A lot of the time when a car gets that beat up, you touch the water and bad things happen. So this time we'll actually try shifting into third gear. Get it up to about 38, shift it, and yeah, it's about the same speed basically. I mean, I would say any difference in speed is purely coincidence. They were both going so close to 40 miles per hour. We'll get that slow-mo going. We'll do 16 times right here until it actually starts to make impact. Then we slow it down a little bit more. Get a good camera angle on that. Ooh. Getting ugly. Speed it up. And go ahead and full speed that now that the first crash is over. Slow it down a little bit for that crash so you can see the bend, and then full speed for the rest of the way. I'll let it fall, but I got nothing else to add for this, so I'm just going to be quiet for a bit. It really does seem like it falls at a slower speed, though. I don't think it's just an illusion, but maybe it is. I'm sure I could get an airspeed gauge out here and try to figure it out, but I actually don't care that much. But my eyes are lying to me. That's what it is. So once it touches the water, we'll go ahead and head over to Brutal Slope to finish things up. Come on, get to the water. Don't get stuck. Keep going. Just a few more feet and water. I'm actually really surprised it does not glitch out when you hit the water because of how beat up it is. Whoa! Suddenly fire! And suddenly extinguished. That was weird. It just combusted and underwater is actually when it went on to fire. And then, well, can't burn underwater, so it stopped immediately. Now, I really don't know if we'll even be able to get to the bottom of the hill with this car because it's so unstable, even at low speeds. Once we hit like 60 miles per hour, it's going to get scary fast. So grab that Maluch. And here we go. We'll see what happens. I'm going to leave it in automatic mode here just because I don't think it'll matter too much what transmission I'm using. Because no matter what, we're going to get past the top speed, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so far, it's looking pretty stable. Although we're not accelerating much. I wonder if I was to just clutch in, if that would be any better. Oh, I can't clutch in. Oh, yes, I can. So clutching in is actually slowing us down right there, so never mind that strategy. I thought maybe the transmission and the engine were actually slowing things up, but no, they're keeping it fast. So something about this car is weird, about how fast it's falling, because normally if you clutch in, the car will keep accelerating. This one was actually decelerating, and it basically has reached the top speed of 78 miles per hour. There's something a little bit wacky with this thing, ain't there? Anyways, let's just go ahead and hit that wall. I don't even think we need 100 times slow-mo. Like 16 will be more than enough here. We'll see exactly how well it deforms. I expect this to be one of the best looking brutal slopes ever just because of how slow we're going. Oh, it's still deformed quite a bit. Anyways, that will do it. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.